Hello, and happy Tuesday. I wanted to send this video to you because this past Saturday we had an excellent conversation about what our whys and our mission statements were, and I really wanted to make sure that we got all of those conversations in, and that this next part was really secondary to all of that. So first, I want to thank you all for sharing your stories, for sharing your struggles with us. I think it's important for us to know that we all have some reason why we struggle with this, and they're all different, but we collectively are going towards the same goal. So I think that's really important to do this as a group. That's why it's always so good to have the support around you. So thank you again for sharing your stories. I'm really sorry to those that didn't make it. The Zoom call will not download. So if you missed it, I'm really sorry about that. If you can, hop on the call this Saturday, just in case that happens again. So today's whole purpose is to talk about deficiencies, because we didn't quite get to that on Saturday. So with health and fitness, there are a bunch of different components to it, right? And if one of them is off, then your results may struggle because that one piece is off. And we always have the fitness, right? We always know we need to work out, and we always know we need to eat well. And we forget about a few other factors, and two of them being eliminating deficiencies, so supplementation and water intake, as well as sleep. So those are two main things that we often overlook in our fat loss and weight loss journeys. Just overall health that people forget about. And they're extremely important. So today, that's what I'm going to talk about. I'm going to try to get through this pretty quickly because I don't want to have you sitting on here. I could talk about this for hours, but I just kind of want to give you the rundown of what the supplements are that can be useful during this challenge, as well as after this. These are the things that I believe and research has shown to keep doing, and there's supplements that you can have forever that can help elevate your health, so your overall health. So the first thing I want to talk about is your water. So number one thing in this challenge is to get enough water. And this is something that does take practice if you struggle with getting enough water every single day. I was one of those people at one point, and the truth is now it's really tough for me to not have more than I actually need. So the more water you drink, the thirstier you are going to become. The less water you drink, the less water you're going to want to drink. So it really is a matter of jumping into it and slowly building up to what your ideal water intake should be. And your ideal water intake should be half of your current body weight in ounces. So some of you may be thinking, oh my gosh, I'm not even close. I'm only drinking 16 ounces of water a day. It's not unusual. So I want you to know that that's the number one thing that I work on with people is we calculate what their water intake has been, and it's usually extremely low. And water is the number one thing for fat loss and weight loss. So it gets all of your systems humming, everything works better. Again, we're talking about eliminating deficiencies. So if I can elevate you, right, to that point where mind is clearer, gut health is a little bit better from having all that water, joints are feeling better because they're getting lubricated from the water, you're going to be in a better place mentally to make better decisions from your health or from your fitness and nutrition standpoint. So water is extremely important here, and is the number one thing that I want you to work on when it comes to your nutrition. So suggestions, I'm looking over here, I'm looking at my water bottles. So I have a 32-ounce water bottle that I highly suggest you either don't get anything lower than 32 ounces. Always have a reusable water bottle around with you, and don't let it be less than 32 ounces. Mine is usually 32 ounces, or I actually have two 64-ounce bottles, and I try to just get 2 of those every single day. It's just very easy for me to remember instead of having to remember 4 or having to remember a bunch of little plastic bottles, because you just won't remember. So this is the one that I have today filled up, and it's 64 ounces. So I'll have 2 of these today. So that gives you an idea. This is on Amazon, so you can find a bunch of them. I know one of our members, Kat Weber, she has one that actually has time frames on it. So if you need a 64-ounce bottle that has time frames that reminds you of what time to drink water, that can be very helpful. So number one thing, get yourself a water bottle that's at minimum 32 ounces, and then at max 64. Just know you're gonna be carrying around a jug of water. So if that bothers you, I would go with the 32 ounce. It doesn't bother me at all. So I'm hydrated and I feel good. So that's the water intake. So make sure you're getting half of your body weight in ounces of water. If you're not getting anywhere near that right now, my suggestion is to start adding a few ounces every single day until you get to your ideal water intake. Okay? So the next thing is supplementation. There's all of this controversy around supplementation, mainly because the truth really is that there are a lot of supplements that are a bunch of garbage. So this is very important to know, that anyone can create a supplement formula and sell it to something like a GNC without being regulated by the FDA. So that's very important to know. I actually had a friend in college that did this, and just as an experiment, made a formula and was able to sell it with no guidelines. So I want you to know what you're finding in stores typically is not regulated by the FDA. Some brands have to be regulated by the FDA because they are considered medical grade. Or another way to think of it is that there are medical doctors that are prescribing these supplements to their patients. So in order to do that, they have to go through rigorous testing, because the doctors their goal is to improve the health of their patient. So very important, and 2 very different avenues for supplements. So if you notice, the supplements that we have at the gym are Thorne Research. You can look them up. Medical grade protein, it is regulated by the FDA, highly regulated, to the point where we've actually even had supplements because they're off by a gram of a certain ingredient, that the whole thing gets dumped and we've had to wait till they reformulate it. So that gives me peace of mind that I am giving you suggestions that are regulated and they aren't random from somewhere like, GNC or Vitamin Shoppe that's not necessarily regulated. So that's not to say that there aren't some brands there that choose to do rigorous testing just because they know how unregulated the industry is. But it is important to know that the brands that are typically provided by medical professionals do not get sold at GNC or Vitamin Shoppe or anywhere like that. So Thorne is the brand that we use. And again, you don't have to use these. I tell people, if you have stuff at home, use it up before you buy something that's medical grade. It is more expensive because it goes through a lot more testing and it has better ingredients, and it actually has in it what it says it does. They've done experiments of things from protein, actually, from GNC, where it will claim to have 20 grams of protein per serving, and it really only has 5. So you want to know what you're getting, and with Thorne you will. So that's why we use Thorne. You are more than welcome to use another protein. I just suggest finding something that is FDA approved and is typically used by medical professionals. So all right, so we're going to start with a couple of supplements here. And the first one that we're gonna chat about really quick, again, if you have questions about these, I know most of you have either seen this, I'm gonna send also a list to just explain what these do.